There's a lot of thought that goes into selecting the right rod and the right reel when it comes to casting, specifically casting distance, but there's one part of the equation that a lot of people don't think about, and that is the actual line that goes on your reel. Now here at Salt Strong, we have done a lot of tests when it comes to casting distance and line diameters, but it's always been on spinning gear. So what we're going to do in this video is we are actually going to test different pound test diameters on bait casting to see if it has the same effect on this type of gear as it does spinning gear. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start out with this rod and reel, and it's going to have 30-pound braid on it. I'm going to do 10 casts maximum distance. I'm going to mark where they land. After those 10 casts, I'm going to strip all this 30-pound off. I'm going to put 20-pound, repeat those same 10 casts, and then I'm going to go down one more time and go to 15. And what we're going to do is we're going to see how much of a difference going from each one of the line diameters is going to make on your casting distance. So I'm going to start with my first cast right here. This is the 30-pound, and just to give you an idea of what I'm doing, I'm using the same type of lure for this casting that I do on my normal fishing. This happens to be our tweaker. It's a stick bait. I've got that rigged on a Haas Helix and a 3/16 ounce, something I'd normally use out on the water. A 30-pound Suffix 832. The reel is a Daiwa Tatula SVTW, and the rod is a Cajun Revenant Elite. This is a 7'2" medium fast, so it's pretty standard inshore fare. So here we go. We're going to start at it now. To expedite the line changes in between the casting sections, I used a nut and a bolt to attach an empty spool to my cordless drill. This is a great tip the next time you want to swap out lines on one of your reels. Okay, now we got that 30-pound test taken off and we've got the 20-pound on there. I'm going to go ahead and give it my next 10 cast. So we got the 20-pound test off, we've got the 15 on, so now we're going to go ahead and do our 10 cast. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the results, and honestly I've already pre-measured. It was just kind of hard to hold a camera and the tape measure at the same time, but this right here, this is the cluster of the 30-pound test results right here. The average was 92 feet, so just to give you an idea what the average is right here, that right there I used as my 100-foot marker. So right in the middle of that ladder is the 100-foot marker. And as you see this right here, this is the group of the 20-pound test, and I measured this out. This is 107 feet right here as an average. Again, we did take some outliers out. There were some that went really far and some that kind of landed short, but for each one of the groups I took 2 outliers off just to make everything even. And if we go back here, this is the 15-pound test, and this went a little bit further. Of course it spread out a little bit further. The further out you cast, the more the spread it's going to be, but the average is about right here, and it's 112 feet. So quite a bit of difference between the 92 feet that was the average of the 30-pound test, and then the 112 feet that was the average of the 15-pound test. So it definitely coincides with the same results that we're getting with the spinning setups. So if you're looking to gain some casting distance, it might not necessarily be your equipment that you're using, the rod and reel per se. It might be the line. If you drop down in size and go from that 30 to that 20, that 15, or even down to the 10, you are definitely going to be gaining some casting distance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to some knot strength test to prove that the 10-pound is a lot stronger than you think it is.